This monkey is probably richer than you. We know that Hollywood actors and actresses earn obscene amounts of money and live in the lap of luxury while they're off set. Mansions, gourmet meals, swimming pools, you name it. But there's an entirely different kind of star, you could say an entire species, in fact, that we don't talk about, our furry friends. From a dog with a heritage of over $50 million to a monkey that already earned more than the average person will make in their entire life. This video's got it all. That's because today on The Animal Shelter, we're going to talk about some of the richest and most famous animals that have ever graced the big screen and captured our hearts. Number 7. Tartar Sauce. When Tartar Sauce, more commonly known as Grumpy Cat, became a meme in 2012, she was an instant star. According to owner Tabatha, Tartar Sauce's grumpy face was caused by feline dwarfism and an underbite, giving her an incredibly unique expression that millions of people around the world recognize to this day. Tartar Sauce's owner was able to quit her job waitressing at Red Lobster and copyrighted her cat's image. Her company, Grumpy Cat Limited, brought in millions through merchandising Grumpy Cat books and various appearances. Of course, with copywriting a meme comes controversy, and in 2018, Grumpy Cat Limited sued Grenade Beverage for using Tartar Sauce's image without permission. GCL won the case for a whopping $710,000, proving just how much the Grumpy Cat branding was worth. Some reports estimate that Tabatha earned almost $100 million in just a couple of short years when Grumpy Cat was at its peak. Although Tabatha has denied this, there is no denying Tartar Sauce brought in quite a lot of cash and a lot of laughs too. Number 6. Terry. Next up is a classic, Terry the Terrier. You probably know this adorable little dog as Toto from The Wizard of Oz, but Terry had a long career in Hollywood, and she even has a troubled past for a canine actress. As a puppy, Terry spent weeks hiding under the bed of her owners, crippled by anxiety and shyness. It took years of training at the Hollywood Dog Training School, but as luck would have it, Terry's new owner was the school's founder, Carl Spitz. Carl used to work with military and police dogs, so training Terry to overcome her carpet wedding and get ready for the big screen came naturally to him. Terry didn't just work on The Wizard of Oz either. She got her start in an uncredited role, as many actors do, for her work on the 1934 romantic comedy Ready for Love. Her first big break happened later that year when Terry worked alongside Shirley Temple herself in Bright Eyes. By the time Terry landed her role as Toto, she earned a well-deserved $125 a week on set, more than many of the actors made at the time. Once you account for inflation, that's almost $2,500. Number 5. Pal. Frank Inn, a famous Hollywood animal trainer, had such a close, nearly telepathic communication with animals that his daughter has called it eerie. Multiple people have said that just by talking to an animal as if they're a human, Frank managed to train many four-legged stars with ease. One such famous star was Pal the Collie, better known as Lassie. Both Inn and Pal's owner, Rudd Weatherwax, trained Pal for the part in the 1943 film Lassie Come Home. And it was so successful that the movie had 6 sequels. Pal was featured in every single one of them before his retirement in 1954. He earned $250 a week during the franchise's run, close to $4,000 when you account for inflation. Pal's son, Lassie Jr., starred in a Lassie television series, and when he too retired in 1959, Pal's grandson, Spook, took over. Inn trained 4 of Pal's grandsons in total to play the part, up until the show ended in 1973. The character Lassie later received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and decades later, the Saturday Evening Post called Pal's work the most spectacular canine career in film history. Lassie was so beloved that families in the US wanted their own, and the number of purebred border collies increased from 3,000 to 18,400 in the late 40s. Talk about living up to a family name. Even these puppies had that pressure. Number 4. Orangey. Next on the list is our feline friend, Orangey. This tabby cat was also trained and handled by Frank Inn and was actually called the world's meanest cat by one studio executive. Orangey already had acting experience under his belt by the time Frank met him. He was so well known for his role in the 1951 movie Rhubarb that he was credited as such in many of his later films. He landed his longest role shortly after the movie's release as a cat named Minerva in the series Our Miss Brooks from 1952 to 1958. Although Orangey might not be loved by all, Frank didn't give up on him and referred to him as a real New York-type cat. casting him in the 1961 movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, right alongside Audrey Hepburn. Orangey went on to earn 2 Patsy Awards, which stands for Picture Animal Top Star of the Year, of course, for his work. And his last known appearances were alongside Catwoman in the 1967-1968 TV series Batman. Funny enough, Orangey's earnings didn't appear online, but we can only assume that after his long and star-studded career, Orangey lived out his days much as the cat Rhubarb did in the 1951 film. Spoiled rotten. Number 3. Moose. Another famous animal actor is the Jack Russell Terrier named Moose. Better known for playing the role of Eddie on the show Frasier, Moose was such a well-behaved star that his co-star said Moose was like a robot on set. But it wasn't always this way for the pup. Moose's trainer, Matilda de Cagny, claims that when she started training Moose, he was a feisty pup that had already destroyed 2 homes. He wanted attention, refusing to be housebroken, and didn't like being pet. His former owners were at their wits' end with this needy pup and adopted him out to de Cagny. It took therapeutic massage, acupressure, and a ton of treats, but Moose eventually responded to de Cagny and was soon ready for filming. Moose had a son, Enzo, that eventually replaced him when Moose retired at 11 years old. Whether it was resentment or some other family drama, these two never actually got along and had to be separated at all times. De Cagny claims that this is pretty common in Jack Russell males. Though Moose retired, he had a long career as Eddie in Frasier and Skip from My Dog Skip, another role he shared with his son. Like many actors, he also released a biography entitled My Life as a Dog. By the end of his life, Moose earned over $3 million in profits, giving him the status of one of the highest paid animal actors. Number 2. Crystal. Whether or not you've ever heard her name before, chances are that you probably know Crystal the Capuchin Monkey's face. Back in the 90s, Birds and Animals Unlimited, one of Hollywood's top animal actor companies, dispatched a trainer to buy capuchin monkeys, one of whom being 2.5-year-old Crystal. Owner Tom Gunderson began working with her, putting her through a monkey boot camp by having Crystal get used to large crowds and noises on the animal actor's stage show. Not only was Crystal relaxed throughout the process, but she was far less destructive and aggressive than a typical capuchin too. Crystal got her first big break in 1997's George of the Jungle, before eventually adding Night at the Museum and Hangover 2 to her resume. She's worn gowns, pearls, walked the red carpet, and truly lives the celebrity lifestyle. Not only was she paid $12,000 per episode for her appearances on the show Animal Practice, but the movies she's been in have grossed over $2 billion at the box office. A fellow crew member on Animal Practice admitted that Crystal single-handedly carried the show on her little shoulders, and Crystal alone is worth roughly $1 million. As Crystal can live and work to about 40 or 50 years old, she still has many years left as a working monkey, but her career so far has been impressive, to say the least. Number 1. Gunther. When we die, most of us hope to have enough money to give something back to the ones we love. For German Countess Carlotta Liebenstein, who passed away in 1992, that special someone was Gunther III, her German Shepherd. Although Gunther isn't a Hollywood star like the other animals on this list, he inherited $65 million. Definitely much more than most pass down to their offspring, let alone pets. Rather than squander his inheritance on treats, the humans that managed Gunther III's estate invested it wisely, eventually turning it into $375 million. Gunther in turn passed his fortune down to his son, Gunther IV. Gunther IV's team of handlers have purchased mansions and villas all over the world, making him the richest dog on our list today and in the entire world. You can find Gunther IV spending his summers in Miami in a home that once belonged to Madonna, purchased for almost $8 million. That's our list of some of the richest and most famous animals in the world. Let us know in the comments down below which one of these animals is your favorite, or if there are any other famous animals that we may have missed. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos coming soon. In the meantime, you can check out this video about incredibly cute animals that are actually deadly.